One of the most difficult things that I've had to deal with in this realm is the emptiness. Life feels empty. Imagine you this conscious being that desires to have rich experiences. You have a deep desire for meaning. You want things to make sense. You want to be happy, but that is very difficult to achieve. You find yourself dealing with the emptiness. Like, no matter what you do, it doesn't really fulfill you. At least not in a way that you would have liked. You look for a job, you have no money, you can't afford anything that you want. You look for a job, you do get a job, you get a good job, but after a few months, you start to feel the way that you've always felt. Yeah, you might have some money, but you're still dealing with the feeling of emptiness. Like nothing is going to make you feel fulfilled for a long time. Like the whole thing actually feels like a scam because you think that once you achieve what you want, and then that's it, you're good. But you keep on wanting. You know, at some point you get used to what you have, then you want something new. You want to get into a relationship. What sucks is that most relationships don't really work out. And you think that's gonna fulfill you, but after some time you get used to, being in a relationship and you feel the way that you've always felt. I think once you hit the age of 30, there isn't a lot of things that you're going to experience that will be new, right? And that's the problem. When you're still five, there's still a lot of things that you can experience that will be new to you. You don't know what it's like to be a teenager. You don't know you don't know what it's like to be a parent if you interested in being a parent. You don't know what it's like to be an adult, so you might look forward to these things. And because of that, even if your life is boring, because there are things that you're looking forward to, you don't really feel bored. You don't really feel the emptiness. Why? Because there are things that you're looking forward to. Let's say when a human being reaches the age of 70, their body transformed. You transform into something much more powerful. Do you think that a lot of people will feel empty? Do you think that there will be a lot of people who will end things? I mean, yeah, there will still be people who will end things, but there wouldn't be like the number of people who are ending things every year will drop. Like it will not be the same. Why? Because there's something that people are looking forward to, right? They're like, yeah, I'm gonna transform into this beast when I hit the age of 70. But I don't know, man. Like you reach the age of 30, you're like, what am I looking forward to? You know, like I've already reached my prime. It's probably all downhill from here because I'm not gonna be as strong as I used to be. When I was 21, I was very strong, but it seems like from here it's kind of like it goes downhill. So now you actually um you actually see the reality of life, you know, because you're no longer looking forward to the future. Most of us, when we hit the age of 30, we know that there ain't like many great things that are gonna. It's like if you're really going to have a great life, you probably will have had a great life earlier. Like there would have been signs. So you hit the age of 30 and you're like, what's gonna happen, right? There are very few people who get to transform their lives after the age of 30. So you everything feels empty. You're like, yo, my life is always gonna be like this. Because what am I gonna do to change things? I've already hit my prime and nothing really interests me anymore. You go to a party thinking that you'll be happy, but when you're there, you feel alone. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like people are judging you. Maybe you're not where you want to be in life, and the people that you know, you feel like they're judging you, like they're looking down on you because you maybe you don't have a car, you're not wearing nice. Like no matter where you go, you still feel the emptiness. You go to a club, you start comparing yourself to other people. You look at some guys, they seem to be having fun, but again, even if you have all of that, life still feels empty. You could be this guy that everyone thinks has made it in life, but you are so used to what you have that it still feels empty. You're like, what am I going to look forward to now? We are not programmed to be happy. That is why we're never truly satisfied. We always want to look for more because we ain't programmed to be satisfied. Happiness should be free, right? You should be able to make yourself happy. Like if this was in a scam, I think you'd make yourself happy without achieving anything. You just be happy. And we have this thing of criticizing people for being unhappy. Like, oh, don't you see the trees? Don't you see? You weren't programmed to feel satisfied. I can see the trees, but trees ain't making me happy. I can see the bees, but bees ain't making me happy. Yes, I'm not homeless, but and that's maybe that provides comfort, right? Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better than being homeless. Although it feels to me that if you are homeless, you are more free than a person who's not homeless. But let's say that's better. It doesn't mean that that makes you happy. You're just comfortable. You're not. When it's cold, you have a place where you can sleep and not freeze, right? It feels empty, man. This life really feels empty, and that's why I remember I've been telling you this that uh, about Three Eye Atlas that I genuinely hope it's aliens because I've life feels so empty that you're like, what the heck are we doing? Like that is why people are asking questions. It's because it feels empty. Like you've been experiencing the same things over and over again that it just gets boring, bro. It's like being stuck on a loop. Ever watched a movie where someone is stuck on a loop? Like they have to repeat the same day over and over again. That's like life. Because even though there are few things that are different, like okay, yesterday, like the experiences that I've had yesterday are gonna be a bit different from the experiences that I'm gonna have today. But really, these experiences are nothing new. I've met new people before. I've been to a party before. I have had conversations with people before. Like there's nothing that is really new. So it's really like being stuck on a loop. So at some point, it stops being interesting. Like life stops being interesting. It actually becomes boring, right? It actually becomes boring. And that is why people start to question life. Like questioning life isn't complaining. Some people will be like, yo, you complaining and all of that. It's not even complaining. It's talking about what you feel, which is the right thing to do at the end of the day. Like, you must acknowledge your feelings. Like, this is how I feel about this. Because I think one of the reasons why we keep on making mistakes as a collective is that we think that being honest about how we feel if we don't feel good is a sign of weakness. Like, for an example, if you admitted to people who are in your life that you're not okay, you've never been happy in a very long time, they are going to automatically think there's something wrong with you, like you're weak or you're depressed or something like that. They'll say, uh, they'll say things like, "Go and try to find help," blah blah blah. You need this. You need. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to come up with solutions that only help those that are weak. They're never gonna think, "Hey, man, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right to feel that way. Maybe the world is not what we expected it to be. Maybe it's not fun. Maybe it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Maybe it's a scam. Maybe having to wake up very early in the morning and go to work and come back home late, not have time to do things that you're truly interested in. You have to work, because if you're not working, you ain't gonna survive. Maybe that isn't right. Maybe we're not supposed to feel good about it. Maybe we're not supposed to feel good about school. Learning a bunch of things that we're not even interested in. Things that don't really true stimulate our minds. Like, we're actually being programmed to become slaves, basically. And we can sense that. So maybe we're not supposed to be happy. Maybe we're not connecting as people, right? Maybe we're not having real conversations as people. Maybe that's not supposed to make us happy. Maybe relationships are not working. We're getting it wrong. We don't understand one another. Maybe that's not supposed to make us happy. Maybe we don't have the answers to most of our biggest questions about our existence. Maybe that's not supposed to make us happy, right? Like, maybe you are right to feel sad, because this shouldn't make people happy. Maybe being happy in some situations is not a good thing. Maybe if I'm being treated like a slave and I'm happy, maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe if I'm in a relationship that is not working, and the person that I'm in a relationship with is just is lying to me, is manipulating me, maybe that shouldn't make me happy. Maybe that shouldn't make me happy. So being happy in that situation isn't a sign of strength. It's actually a sign of weakness. Because how am I happy in a relationship where I'm not actually loved? How am I happy in a relationship where I'm taken for granted? Where I'm being used, right? So being unhappy is not a bad thing. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It means that I do feel that I deserve better. But yeah, if you're gonna open up and say, I'm not okay, this like, no one wants to blame the world. No one wants to say, look, I understand how you feel, and it makes complete sense. Looking at what's going on in the world now, like, it makes complete sense. Like, I would actually be surprised if you didn't feel that way. What you're feeling is actually normal. Yeah, I don't know why people watch my videos, is because that's basically what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're not feeling okay, that's normal, right? I'm not lying to people. Because here's the thing, man. If you teach people to not acknowledge their feelings, what happens is that they end up feeling alone. Like, okay, this is how I really feel, but I can't say anything. Why? Because no one is going to understand me. So when they come across a video on YouTube of someone who's actually speaking the truth, they're like, oh, I'm not alone. I actually thought I was alone, right? Because society doesn't allow us to talk about our true feelings. And that should make us suspicious, because that is what should actually be encouraged, right? A person must be able to say, look, I'm not happy. I haven't been happy since 13. And I don't know if they honestly do not feel happy, they should be able to say that. They honestly do not feel happy. And we must then try to come up with uh, solutions quickly. We must try to understand the problem. We mustn't say, "Oh, you're not happy. We're just gonna give you a bunch of pills." Yeah, no, that's a quick solution. Maybe the problem needs to be solved in a different way. Maybe we need to ask ourselves if this is the world that we truly want as as humans. It will be beautiful if people were honest about how they feel. Because the real truth is that people are not honest. We are pretending to be okay even when we're not okay, because we're like, what can I do? We consider speaking the truth about our feelings complaining, right? You speak the truth about how you feel, and people say you are complaining, but you're actually speaking the truth about how you feel because it's really how you feel, right? It's a beautiful thing and a brave thing to do, to talk about how you really feel in a world where we are not allowed to, in a world where you are criticized for being real. Most of us feel empty. We don't know what to look forward to. Go out in nature, yeah, that's nice. You're still gonna go back home and deal with the emptiness. It's something about this world is just not right, and we mustn't be ashamed of how we feel. One thing that I taught myself is to be real, man. This is how I feel. Like, I mustn't be this egotistical creature that wants to seem strong. And the thing is, it's not even being strong, not talking about how you feel, right? It's just what people consider strength, but it's not. It's lack of intellectual honesty. If I'm not enjoying my life, I should be able to say it, and without fear. And really, I shouldn't be judged for not being okay. I shouldn't be judged for not loving this. It feels empty, man. The movies that we watch, they're like the same. I actually hate that I can predict, like, every movie that I watch, every new movie that I watch, I can predict how it's gonna end. Like, it's being made by, like, these movies are being made by the same person. Remember the day when I was like, you know what, man, I'm never gonna watch average movies anymore, or average series anymore. Like, it needs to be something totally crazy. I was watching this TV series. I forgot the name of the TV series, but it's about this these people who had superpowers. They lived in a black neighborhood. So they had, I think it's called Supercell. Yeah, I think it's called Supercell. So they will hide their superpowers. One day, this other guy had a beef with some guys in the street, and um, they had a problem, and they decided to meet up and have a conversation about the problem. So while it seemed like they came up with a solution for their problem and everyone was happy, I paused. I paused the series. I was like, this guy who's seem happy right now, he's gonna get shot and he's gonna die. 30 seconds later, he got shot. I was like, ah. Like you can actually tell that something is about to happen, right? So you find out these guys are celebrating. Like no, this one of them is getting shot. So it's I can predict what's gonna happen. It's like these movies are being made by the same person, so it gets boring. You know how the movie is gonna end before it begins. One of my favorite movies of all time is Avengers, Infinity War. I love that movie because it's unpredictable. Like you wouldn't expect Thanos to win. And what was more beautiful about it is that they've also made us understand his point of view. A lot of movies don't want to show you things from the perspective of a villain, right? So we were shown things from his perspective. They tried to humanize him, like they made us connect with him, and he won in the end, right? The guys that we thought were gonna win, they didn't win. Like Thanos actually won, and yeah, that's why people love that movie. In fact, these days I think people want movies where the villain wins because we are in an era where we are starting to understand villains, right? There was a time when we were rooting for so-called good guys, but now we kind of like realizing that most of these guys that we think are good in movies, they're just privileged. They're just lucky and things are going well for them, so they don't see the real problems, right? We just love them. That people in this world who are kind, who are nice to people, and who want things to remain the same because things are working out for them, right? If I'm this guy, like who's who's favored by life, like things are going well for me. Let's say at school I was being treated very well by my teachers, I was treated very well by the principal, I was treated very well by other students. Like I was respected, no one bullied me, like everyone showed me love. Maybe I was very handsome and very smart, so I was performing very well at school. Like I'm never gonna see how corrupt the education system is. I'm never gonna want things to change. Why? Because I didn't have a wake up call. I didn't experience things that made me stop and start questioning everything. But if when I first went to school, I had to deal with bullies. Teachers didn't understand me. Um, every time when I was in the classroom, I felt alone. I felt like no one actually liked me. You know, that's when I will start questioning things. I'm like, hey, what are we even doing here? Are we actually learning things that are actually good, things that are actually going to make us better people in the future, or we are actually that's when you actually start asking questions. So the hero is the one who's being treated well by a bad system, but he thinks it's a good system because it's treating him well. It's like Batman. Like if you watch Batman movies, you realize that the guy is just privileged, right? And Joker was actually right. Joker was trying to make people see the truth. So Batman came from a rich family. He wants to protect the system that favored him, that gave him a great life. So he's against people who are not favored by life, right? People are like, you know what, man, maybe this system isn't it. He's against those kind of people. But now, because we are like kind of like waking up, I don't think there's ever been a time in history where people were seeing uh, deeper truth like now. Like I think this is the first time in history where society is actually able to see the truth about itself, right? Yes, we might not be seeing the truth like at the same level. Some people are, they still have to wake up. Some people still have to evolve, but like most of us can see that something isn't right. Something isn't right with the system. So we're no longer rooting for the people who are privileged but who don't see the truth because of, you know, because they seeing life through their privileged eyes. That's the thing. If you're privileged, you're gonna see life from your privileged point of view. you're never gonna wanna understand that there are people in this world who are not privileged at all. We're actually underprivileged, and uh, a lot of things didn't go their way. You know that people in this world, a lot of things went their way. I remember this. Just I forgot the name of the channel. So someone sent me a video on not a video link on my email. They just started that channel. I actually talked to I'll actually talk to this guy. Maybe I'll do a live with him. He was asking me if his videos are good, and yeah, like what do I think about his videos. So if he's watching, then his videos are actually good. I have not responded to his email yet because I have not finished. Like I have not watched all the videos, but he doesn't have many videos on his channel. So actually, like I'll watch all of them so that I will, uh, like when I respond to him, I will cover everything. So yeah, I think I'll invite him, and yeah, I will have him on one of the lives that we're going to have soon. So yeah, the guy was talking about uh, how life now is no longer like it's no longer about taking risks. It's like it's more about a gamble, like than taking a risk now. It's like trying to win the lottery. Like things don't go your way because you're taking a risk. Now you're actually gambling because the odds are against you. So you're actually gambling. Like when you try to do something or achieve something, it's gonna be as hard as it will be if you were trying to win the lottery, right? It's like gambling now. It doesn't even have a lot to do with you as a person, right? Life can decide to make you win even if there isn't anything about you that is interesting. Like anyone can win. It's a gamble. Like anyone can win the lottery. You don't have to be a special person to win the lottery. You don't have to remember um every all the numbers that won before to win the lottery. Like if you were able to remember all the numbers that won before, you special. But you don't have to be special. You don't have to be a mathematician, you know? Anyone, bro. I'm talking about a person who doesn't even know how to count. They can win the lottery, right? That's life. Like life can make you win. You're like, damn, man, why did I even deserve all of this? You find that you become very successful. Nowadays, it doesn't even rely on a lot of things for you to become successful. Life can choose you and you become very successful. So it's more like a gamble. It's not more like taking a risk. And that's one of the reasons why I've had to think thoroughly about having children. I'm like, now I'm going to be gambling because it doesn't even matter how you plan out your life. You could plan things correctly, but it can never be too sure in this room. Like a lot of bad things happen. Yes, we do tell ourselves that something like that can never happen to me. Like maybe if I had a child, I'll never lose them. They'll never die. They'll never get sick. Though, like you tell yourself that, and maybe it's good to always wish for the best things to happen and even expect the best things to happen. I don't know, because some people believe in the law of attraction and say that's good, but really, life doesn't care about your beliefs. If you jump off a building, you're breaking your bones. It doesn't matter what you believe. You might believe that you're not going to break your bones, but if the building is tall enough, you're breaking your bones. Some people just tell themselves that yeah, things are gonna work out while gambling with other people's lives. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, I have to think deeply about having children because I don't want to bring someone into this world who's gonna have to feel the way that I felt at some point in my life. You know, it's torture sometimes. They have to question existence, ask themselves why everything sucks now. Hope for a rapture to happen. Praying that Jesus comes back to save the world because things are too boring now. I don't know, man. Like people are tired. Like they want something supernatural to happen. They want something super interesting to happen because they're tired. There's a reason why if two people started fighting in the street, people will go and watch. I mean, nowadays people don't really watch because they've seen many fights online. But back then, bro, like if people were fighting in the street, people will go out and watch the fight. People will be cooking and be like, you know what? Let me switch off the stove. I need to go and watch this fight. Is that they love drama? Why? Because they're bored. But now, because of social media, we've seen a lot of things that kind of like we've seen a lot of things that we've actually got used to this thing, right? Like if you've seen a lot of fights online, it gets to a point where you're like, when you see people fighting, it doesn't even interest you anymore, you know. But back then, because we had not seen a lot of fights, like fights would interest us. Like people would go and watch for. That's why kids love fights. If you ever, if you are a teacher, you know what I'm talking about. When you stop the fight, let's just say you find two kids fighting and you stop the fight, the kids will start booing like, ooh, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like they're mad that you stopped the fight because they're bored, right? They're in this place that's like prison. They're supposed to be there for. They're supposed to be there for. Uh, Sometimes they have to be there for 8 hours. Sometimes 9, sometimes 10 hours. So they need some entertainment. So when they see two kids fighting, that insets entertainment, you know, because of boredom. I remember when I was still in primary school, there was a teacher who liked fights. So when a fight will break out and he's the one who's teaching, he'll be like, everyone must keep quiet. Let them fight. Because he knew that people will get too excited, right? Like we'll get too excited and start screaming because people are fighting. But still, it will be very difficult for people to control themselves. Like they'll be so happy that people are fighting. There's a reason why we like drama. There's a reason why everyone knew about the beef between Drake and Kendrick. There's a reason why when you think of Big, you're gonna think of Pac. When you think of Puff, you're gonna think of Big. When you think of Pac, you're gonna think of. Do you get what I'm saying? It's because of the beef. People are bored, so when they hear that there's two rappers that are dissing each other, be like, yo, I'm not even a fan of rap, but this guy just made this record where he say first off in the it says what does Park say on his up? It says something like first off you and the click you claim. Is that what it says? Like if your beach, if your okay, I don't even want to say, but in the click you claim West Side when we ride, I don't even remember. But that's because people are bored. That becomes interesting, right? So we follow the story. We're like, oh, did that really happen? Did Park really sleep with Faith? And Koenig says, and Bunker got a weird case. Why is he around? You're like, who's Bunker? I need to um, I need to do a background check and see see if what Kendrick is talking about is real, right? But yeah, we are interested in these things because we are bored, because life feels empty, right? When I was watching the Super Bowl and Kendrick was performing, you know, when he reached that A minor rhyme, I remember everyone screamed. I'm like, yeah, we're bored, man. I don't know, like we people are bored. Like they feel like this is empty, so they want some drama. They want something that's gonna stimulate them. And the worst thing about it is that people are not really like a lot of people are not interested in philosophy. There's a reason why I'm always making these videos. It's because I don't like thinking about the normal stuff, right? So at least I have philosophy. There are a lot of philosophy channels that I watch because like if there's something that really stimulates my mind is philosophy, right? It's not a lot of things really. It's not people fighting outside. I don't like drama. I don't want to see people fighting and all of that. Like all of that to me is trash. When it comes to real philosophy, man, like if you want my mind to work 100%,